Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Talladega Superspeedway, where tonight it is home to race number 6 of the returning WRLA Xfinity Series. It is the Aaron's 312, and it has been just about, maybe about a few weeks since the Xfinity Series has been in action. Last time out, we were at the Arena Café Noté out in Brazil, and just in case if you missed the action over there, it was Igor Barreto who won in a very dominating fashion just last time out over in Brazil. But we go from a short 1 mile course to a 2.66 mile monster known as the Talladega Superspeedway, the sister track to Daytona. But it is going to be a lot of fun here for tonight. And I am not alone. Joining me here in the booth is none other than NOS Energy Cup Series owner, driver, and actually saw one of his cars go to victory lane earlier this year at Minnesota. That's Russell Blaze. Russell, what's going on, man? How we doing?
I'm still catching myself, especially from Minnesota with Neely. Also with Eric at Ricky in the Cup car. He actually did better than me.
Well, not the way that you really wanted to start off your month of May, but as for Eric, he definitely did have himself a really good showing at the Ricky Raceway, almost winning that event, but ended up taking home a top 5 finish. Regardless of that, he is back to full-time action here in the Xfinity Series, here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Now, we raced in the with the newer version of Talladega last year, but now we're going with the Tally Rally version of Talladega. So this is kind of the land of the unknown. Now, Russell, when you were in the land of the unknown, obviously when it came to places like Ricky Raceway or Brazil or any other type of racetrack that you've never been on before, what kind of mindset do you have to put yourself in, especially when you tackle a whole different version of a racetrack that you've never really tackled before?
It's usually like the first couple of laps, not really worrying about position. Just want to get the feel of the track and how everybody is doing. So like when I first tackled Ricky, I didn't really have much luck with Ricky until I actually finished the race. But no, I just took it a little bit at a time, try to in mindset of, okay, could I go here? Will this work here? And just kept going with that. And then once I got comfortable, then I can start making moves.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and as for this version of Talladega Superspeedway, yes, we are converting over to the Tally Rally version of. My mic wound up cutting off there. I do apologize there, but we are converting to the Tally Rally version of Talladega. We've seen a lot of success here with AG, formerly known as Napa Fan. We've seen Nathan Stapleton with his JBL Cup Series and as well as his NR Leagues perform here. And we're getting ready to do the exact same thing. We're jumping on the Tally Rally train. So it's going to be a fun night here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at your point standings coming in here to tonight's race. There you see John Boyd still holding on to the points advantage over new runner-up in the points. That is Igor Barreto after his win in Brazil. He now has 135 points to his name, 128 in third. That is Ray Atikian, Marcus Sachi, Erica Douglas, and Sam Robinson, all tied for that 4th spot in the point standings. But due to Google Sheet Physics, Sachi breaks that tie, and then it's Douglas scored in 5th, Sam Robinson in 6th, Kasumi Takashi, our winner from Las Vegas, and also, ironically enough, for Nathan Stapleton's team, he is 7th with 111. He breaks a tie with Thomas Jericho, who also has 111 points, who is in 8th, currently scored in 8th, then Ryan Kendall, 9th, and Campbell Marsh rounding out your top 10. Here's a look at the rest of your point standings coming on in here, and a lot of drivers here that are definitely in dire need of some good points here tonight. Haley Curris is amongst those. She competed last week at Ricky Raceway along with Eric Blaze. Of course, Eric just barely inside of the top 30 with what looks to be 62 points to his name. And then Haley Curris, 47 points. And then Celeste Lace is down there. Justin Ingleham, Kenny Shremy amongst those as well. So a lot of drivers that have had some pretty abysmal starts to the year. Derek Hamill is another one. Unfortunately, he is third to last in the point standings. And tonight could very well be a night where things change here at the Talladega Superspeedway. I mean, points-wise, and a lot of situations could definitely vastly improve. Let's go ahead and take a look at your starting lineup coming in here to tonight. It is Miri Judicia on the pole alongside Kazumi Takashi. They're going to lead the field of the green flag. And for those wondering in the WRLA Discord why the starting lineup looks completely different, well, the answer to that is we had to adjust the AI difficulties down by 1%. So the racing is going to be just a skosh bit more tame, but more tame than what we've seen in testing. But regardless of that, Bryce Egan, Ajax Fitzgerald, they make up the second row. Thomas Jericho and Sarah Taylor in row number 3. Sam Robinson, Campbell Marsh in the 4th row. And then Rhea Tikian and Dana Mon complete your top 10. And then it's Reagan Whitlock, Celeste Lace, Reagan DeFeo, Ryan Davis, who won at Daytona, looking to try to win another plate race here at Talladega. He also won in Brazil that we were just talking about a little under a month, just a good few weeks ago, and then last month rather. Then you have Jordan Sumner, Nick Martin, Eric Blaze, Marcus Sachi, Carter Belair, Derek Hamill completing your top 20. And then it's Will Parrish, Roberto Crown Jr., Justin Ingleham, Alexander Rowe, Noah Carr, Steve Morgan, Haley Curris, Josiah Munsell, Sebastian Kukulon, and Quentin Moore. That's your top 30. And then you got Erica Douglas, Caleb Rose, John Boyd, Igor Barreto, Ryan Kendall, Kenny Shremy, Harun Kagweloglu, Zachary Fitzwater, and then our provisional starters, Austin Kane and Joshua Neely in the number 1 machine. Going to try to win this one from the caboose. It is definitely going to be a very interesting time here at the Talladega Superspeedway. And let's go ahead and get this party started. Drivers are in their cars. Pre-race ceremonies are wrapping up. So let's go trackside and get the command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Engines are fired. Pace car is rolling off. And so are these 42 competitors. 66 laps of action here at the sister track of Daytona. And Russell, I gotta ask just before we go green, who do you got your eyes on? Who do you think is going to be somebody to watch out for here tonight?
Obviously, my guys, first and foremost. I know Fitzy can do good. You know, in super speedways, he's proven it before. But you know, it's just Takashi. You know, I'm starting to notice them a lot. And also one other person in particular is Ryan Davis. That's definitely another person that's started to catch my eye in recent weeks.
Of course, Ryan Davis, as I mentioned, won at Daytona to kick things off here in the Xfinity Series. And then also in the Cup side, went on to win his first Cup race over in Brazil. He's starting just outside of the top 10 coming in here for tonight here at the Talladega Superspeedway. And there's Eric starting in P17 at just about mid-pack in the 3 doors down machine. So this is definitely going to be pretty fun to watch. And hopefully he's able to last longer than up to turn 3. Fingers crossed.
As we know, at Talladega, it don't matter where you start. It's just a matter of, can you avoid the big one?
Well, hopefully these drivers are able to do just that. Pace car is off. And this will put the field into the hands of Marion Judicia and Kasumi Takashi to lead the field down to the green flag and get race number 6 underway here in the Xfinity Series at Talladega. Double file, and then about 3 wide, and when you get down to the middle and of the pack, and now here we go with 3 wide towards the front. That's Thomas Jericho in the 4. Getting to the inside of Egan and Takashi, followed by Reagan Whitlock, Reagan DeFeo, Sumner, and several others down on the bottom side. But it's all Marion Judicia who is clear of all traffic to start things off, and they head through the tri-oval 3 wide throughout a majority of the field. Judicia is going to pick up the first lap.
Here comes Whitlock at the bottom.
You got the Reagan and Reagan show down there on the inside with Whitlock in the 54, DeFeo in the 45, and then you got Sumner in the 98, Eric Blaze and Carter Belair. And then a lot of other cars lined up on the inside line. And this is something that we're going to be seeing pretty much all race long. A massive amount of 3 wide, similar to what we saw at WRLA Daytona. But the action here is probably going to be, hopefully just a little bit more tame. But then again, it's Talladega, and we can't really make too many promises in that regard. And ladies, oh, here we go. Atikian goes up to a 4th line.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
This is our first bit of 4 wide that we're seeing here at Talladega. Unlike Daytona, where you can just barely get away with 4 wide for so long, you can practically do it all day here because this track is just 1 lane wider. However, the problem is these drivers are going to be banging doors with one another. Sachi and Fitzgerald. And there they go up front.
Here we go. Yep.
That's Douglas going around. Neely around. Saves it, though. He keeps it going.
Wow.
But that did not take long at all for our first caution to fly here on lap 3. And leading them back to the stripe, it is actually going to be the 28 machine of Will Parrish. That will lead them back to the caution, and they're wrecking again.
Nope, wait.
Oh, cars around, as is Jericho. And Morgan oh my goodness gracious, God. What in the world? That's Noah Carr's upside down. Caleb Rose, Derek Hamill. Zachary Fitzwater was also collected in that one as well, and they're still stacking up here. Judiciar pole sitter was Quentin Moore. What in the world, guys? Well, that's not the way that these drivers wanted to start off their nights here at Talladega. And we're going to have several retirees. Wow. Well, we kind of expected a decent sized wreck to happen a little bit later on in the race, but on lap 3 of all times. That's actually kind of rather unfortunate to see, but
at least he made it out of this wreck.
At least, and he's in second. He almost led everybody back to the caution, but right now second to start things off here. Eric Blaze right now in a pretty good position.
This is interesting. I believe everybody coming down pit road.
And definitely that is the case. And as you see, a lot of the pit boxes kind of flickering The diagnosis as to why this is happening is because usually I'm tabbed out for way too long with NR 2003, and that causes the game to kind of, well, causes the frames to drop, and for everything else and Satan himself to really take over the graphics. But race off of pit road easily is going to be won by Will Parrish, so Eric Blaze will come back out in second. Justin Ingleham in the 53 will come out third. Bryce Egan will come out fourth. Thomas Jericho will complete your top five, and then it's the 25 of Sebastian Kukulon who will come out sixth. Then in seventh will be the 21 of Celeste Lace. Eighth will be the 45 of Reagan DeFeo. Ninth will be our points leader of John Boyd. And completing your top 10, that will be the 24 of Sarah Taylor. Let's go back and see what happened that caused that first caution to fly here at the Talladega Superspeedway on lap number 3. That is just absolutely wild. Absolutely wild to see here to kick things off. And I don't even know what else to really add on here, but my goodness gracious, what a way to kick things off on lap number 3. You know, that is actually a great question here, because that's what it looked like. And I guess in some form or another, I definitely jinxed it, but what we're going to see here heading down into turn number 3. Just 2 rows of 4 wide. And I think Davis just got squeezed by Takashi and Douglas, and that's what sent them up into the outside wall. Reagan DeFeo just got clipped in that one. Ray Atikian had a little bit of damage. Also got in front of Steve Morgan, who then, well, Atikian clipped the one of Joshua Neely, but thankfully he was able to get the car straightened out. He was able to continue on without a problem. Quinn Moore gets involved in this one. And Judicia definitely did get more damage. I'm pretty sure there was a little bit more to do with a little bit more action that took place just past the start-finish line. And it was with this incident right here, just after the cooldown. So it was 4 wide between Noah Cars, Jericho, and then the 51 of Carter Belair. All 3 cars get together, and then you're going to see all 3 of them go right.
Trying to take a scenic route.
Yeah, they go right off the racing surface. Belair is just, I don't know if he's pushing both of them down, but all 3 nonetheless go off the racing surface. And then right about here, Jericho and then Cars, they get sideways. But the driver that obviously got the worst end of that one is this 92 of Noah Cars. Great heads-up driving by Curris to drop down to the inside and miss this whole thing. Egan gets by. Our points leader gets swiped on the right hand on his passenger side, but Marcus Sachi was the misfortunate soul that wound up hitting the 92, and that 92 just goes flipping side over side, end over end on the apron, and comes back to rest on his roof. So a tough break for Noah Cars. Here comes Fitzwater, just gets into both cars, and then right up in front of Caleb Rose. And then obviously there was a lot more that happened up here at the front. See Steve Morgan, Igor Barreto, Kenny Shremy. Let's see. Even Derek Campbell did get into the back of the 43. We saw that live. But there's just so much that happened within the early stages of the race, and let's just soak this in real time here, because I can't even believe that we went. I mean, obviously, We went further than what we did at Daytona. I mean, that's for sure. However, it collected at least a few more cars.
From what I saw, it looked like the middle lane was trying to separate, and the bottom of the two in the middle was trying to go down to the bottom lane.
That could have very well indeed have been the case here. Well, at least going in through 3 and 4, but heading through 1 and 2, I'm not really understanding what happened here between these three and why they were so close together. Just after they took the caution flag, and just look at that 92. Just flipping absolutely wildly. Big hits there with Fitzy and then Rose and Hamill. Derek Hamill, I'm kind of surprised that the front end of his car looks pretty good. It looks solid. Then you saw on the right-hand side of your screen, Quentin Moore get into the back of Roberto Crown Jr. Now, a good handful of these cars, drivers, Russell, they're going to be in tomorrow night's race, and unfortunately, some of them are already taken out of this one pretty early on, and that's rather unfortunate. Honestly,
Yeah.
severely unfortunate.
I am going to have to do some evasive maneuvering just to stay out of the wrecks.
Just like how these drivers are having to do some evasive maneuvers. What in the world is going on here?
Like, I'm actually going to have to get pointers from Eric on this, how to survive this layout of Talladega.
Oh, well, my goodness gracious. As these drivers get sorted out, we might have ourselves Wyatt Walker come into the booth here very, very shortly. But your race leader, I thought it was going to be Will Parrish, but it's actually Haley Curris in the 44. She wound up staying out, and she's going
So
to
someone did stay out.
inherit. Yeah, she is indeed going to inherit the race lead out of this whole thing. And the graphics on the ticker are completely gone, folks. So you only just get the lettering.
The ticker got smart and hid.
Well, I would definitely say for sure we might have to revert to our graphics on the ticker, maybe back to the original format, if you will. But nonetheless, still working our first caution. And I believe if I do see it right here, we've got ourselves Wyatt Walker in the booth. He has finally made his way in. Wyatt, welcome on in. How we doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Got to catch a little bit of the race. I'm happy to be up here in the booth with y'all again. Last time I was, we got to see one of your cars go to victory lanes. Russell, maybe it's back to back. I saw a couple of my cars got out of that wreck. That was a big wreck. I hope everyone's okay, especially the one that flipped. That was crazy.
I got a headache just from seeing that happen up here. But I mean, we still got what, 60 laps to go. So this is Talladega. Anything can happen.
You ain't wrong about that.
Is my mic working?
It is now.
Hey, your mic's working.
Oh, that was weird because I was trying to ask a question. I was like, wait, why is everybody talking over me? This isn't right. But no, why? We only saw what happened. I mean, obviously, we watched what happened within the first opening laps of the race and didn't really get to dissect too much other than we saw a lot of 3 and 4 wide. And now we're getting ready to have a single file restart coming up here. How long do you think these drivers are going to have, or at least how long do you think it's going to take before we see these drivers, if you will, go back to that 3 and 4 wide racing that we just saw within the first 3 laps?
Well, 3 wide isn't going to be, I don't think it's going to take too long. They're probably going to go 2 wide by at least turn 2, but maybe it could be as early as like turn 3 and 4. We start seeing them at least go 3 wide. if they're smart, I wouldn't try 4 wide again till like maybe closer to the end. But we will just have to see from now on. My guess and hope would be at least turn 3 we get 3 wide.
Honest opinion, halfway down the backstretch.
Yeah.
Well, we could very well see that happen. Lights are out on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back to green flag racing with 7 laps complete, and you see the retirees on your screen. Read it if you can. You got Noah Kars, Marcus Sachi, Zachary Fitzwater. It'll be Stephen Walker back behind the wheel when we go to Iowa next week. But Fitzy is out of it, along with Caleb Rose, Marion Judicio, who started on the pole. One of your cars, Reagan Whitlock, Wyatt, is unfortunately out of this thing, and Quentin Moore is unfortunately out as well. So we have 33 cars still on the racetrack, all of them on the lead lap. Your top 10 is going to be going as follows. Haley Curris will be the leader. Then Will Parrish will be lining up in second. Eric Blaze will be third, then Justin Ingleham fourth, Bryce Egan fifth. How about that for Zachary Taylor's cars inside of the top 5? Then you have Sebastian Kukulon in sixth, Thomas Jericho in seventh. Then in eighth is Celesta Lace. Running in ninth is the 24 of Sarah Taylor, and Reagan DeFeo, our winner from Auto Club, rounds out your top 10 as they head through turns 3 and 4 to get ready to restart. My goodness, I mean, it should be. I would definitely have to agree with both of you guys. Both of your assessments with these drivers possibly taking a 3 wide, going either down the back straightaway or into turn 3, both of which very accurate, but it could happen a lot earlier. Maybe say heading into turn number 1, that could very well be the case. But let's see what happens as they head through the tri-oval. Pace car is already pulled off. Curtis is going to lean it back to the green flag here. Single file. Let's see what happens heading into turn 1.
We already have a couple already moving on to that outside, and now we have a few from the inside. We already 2 wide going to turn 1.
And look at that jump that Haley Curtis just got there on the restart. Unfortunately, that may look good, but not for a place like Daytona or Talladega, or if you want to count it, ass. Just definitely not the place that you wanted to be jumping out front as far out as that. But heading down into turn 3, I'd have to give the point to Russell here. They were already 3 wide heading down the back straightaway, and look at Will Parrish just easily dropping like a rock in that 28, but Eric Blaze in that 8 going to the point in the 3 doors down feed machine. Man, that thing looks good out front.
Oh, it does. It looks good in one piece also.
Also looks good leading a lap here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Bryce Egan right there in that second position. Celesta Lace comes into this race dead last in the points standings. I'm willing to bet you that he is wanting to turn his luck around here for the month of May and hopefully get himself back into championship contention, or even better than that by the time we get done with this month. Right now he is third. Reagan DeFeo in fourth. Sam Robinson rounding out your top 5. Now Robinson, He's one of those drivers that we haven't really talked a whole lot about this year, but he's been quietly picking his way through the field, and he is up inside of the top 10 of the point standings, top 5 here in this race within the first 9 laps. I'd say this 10 is going to be a true sleeper for the championship if he's able to play his cards right, or if he continues to play his cards right, that is. But nonetheless, field's a little bit more strung out, so I'd say it's a little bit more difficult to see that bunched up 3 and 4 wide racing that we saw within the first 3 laps. And look at Egan down to the inside, bringing Reagan DeFeo with him, and also Will Parrish in the number 28 as well.
Yeah, they're still being a little bit dicey, but now it's looking a bit more. Now they're being a bit more tamer because they ain't got everyone like jumbled up in the first few
3
laps
to the lead.
Yep.
And that was Egan. No, not Egan, but Egan is in the middle. DeFeo's on the bottom, and Reagan DeFeo managed to lead that lap over Bryce Egan and Eric Blaze. But now they are 3 wide, 2 rows deep in the middle of this lead group that is going to consist of, I want to say, at least 18 cars, maybe 19, if you want to count the 27 of Dana Mon, who's just trying to do everything he can to hold on to the draft, at least whatever he can, off of the drivers that are at the tail end of this group over here. It's Josiah Munsell in the 48, trying to stay within this group. John Boyd, who comes into this race as the points leader, he got swiped in the passenger side door, but not too much, but really no damage on that 41. He's still able to hang on, and you know, I still gotta give more flowers here to Vision Motorsports, because the reason why I say that is because you got John Boyd here in this 41, which, yes, I did mistake the 41 of the 00 for Durrani Racing, but really it's Vision Motorsports. I did go back and look at the info sheet, but Vision Motorsports has been pretty consistent all year. They're leading in the points in both the Cup and Xfinity Series. John Boyd still has yet to get a win here for this year, but he's been consistent all year so far. He's leading in the point standings. And then, of course, you got Tanner Parton, who won at Las Vegas and still has himself a pretty comfortable margin over new runner-up Andrew Ramsey coming into this weekend. So Vision Motorsports, I got to give them their flowers where they deserve them. They've been doing an absolutely phenomenal job here throughout this 2026 season. Not the best of starts here for the month of May for Vision Motorsports when it comes to Parton, and I'd want to say so far for John Boyd, but actually no, for the Xfinity side, they're getting things off to a pretty good start. They're still in this lead pack, but for Parton, bit of a rocky start nonetheless, but still, it's pretty early in the month, and still some very valuable points can be collected.
I give a small little bit of shout out to that 27 that was like far back in that pack, but caught the draft of the 41 that you were talking about, and he just got up there. Now he's a part of this lead pack and have an opportunity to have a great if this car stay all calm and stuff, could have a great finish by the end of it.
Yeah, Dana Mon managed to just barely catch a whiff of the draft of the tail end of this lead group, and now he finds himself in contention for this race lead. And obviously we're starting to see here that we've got 19 cars that are amongst this lead pack, and then as they're fighting it out and shuffling for the race lead, you take a look back here, that's Ajax Fitzgerald in the 88, the one who spun out and managed to keep the car straight after doing a 360. That's Joshua Neely. Roberto Crown Jr.'s back here along with Austin Kane, Steve Morgan. So a lot of your cars, Russell, they are back over here in this second group. The good news is they're still running. However, not a lot of help is not a lot's going on over here other than these drivers are racing. Oh, wait, hold up.
Oh, good pass.
Oh, 4 cars. Oh, no, Crown got involved. Oh my goodness. That's Sumner collected, Sarah Taylor. I saw Igor Barreto, and oh man, what a shame. That's Eric Blaze in the 8, who just got involved in that one, and caution flag flies on lap number 15. It will be Sam Robinson leading them back to the stripe. I don't think Celeste Lace is going to have anything for him. But my goodness. What a thing to come back to when it comes to the lead pack, but that was completely surprising to see.
I don't know who, but at the corner, I have a little bit of replay going on another car. I looked back too, there was another car that got like a piece, like one of the tail ends. I don't know who it was. It looked like it was a blue car.
I would believe that was Roberto Crown Jr. in the 71, who just barely got a whiff of one of the cars that was just barely poking out onto the racing surface. But he is on pit road right now, along with Derek Hamill, whom I do believe wound up getting a piece of that mess as well. And both drivers, unfortunately, are done for the night here at Talladega. It is Sam Robinson leading the charge. with now 15 laps complete. And Russell, I was just talking about your team, man. And then unfortunately, we come back to the lead group and Eric Blaze caught up on another one. That's got to sting. I feel for you, man. And lots of damage, actually. Hold up. Lots of damage to Alexander Rowe and also Fitzgerald. I think we had another stack up on coming to the caution, or at least trying to catch up to the pace car. That's just, again, that's just completely random.
My question is, I'm wondering if the 8 car is like done. I haven't heard nothing from them yet.
Well,
Looks like he was just hit road, but it don't look anything. And I was going to mention before the caution come out, it wasn't just hit most of his cars in the back of that pack. As you saw, the 19, who's now out of the race, that's half of my team. But both the 19 and the 18 were back there. Thankfully, it looked like the 18 got out of there. Maybe had small damage, but I couldn't tell. Looked like got away scot-free.
well, regardless of that, we're about to find out what in the world happened that caused that second caution of the night here at the Talladega Super Speedway. At this concurrent moment, your race leader is indeed the number 10 of Sam Robinson. Let's dissect this here, guys. And and there's the culprit. We're about to unfold it here live and in living color, ladies and gentlemen. For wide action here at Talladega. We've seen it before heading into turn 3 on lap 3. We see it again here. About 15 laps in. Eric Blaze on the bottom, Barretto and Sarah Taylor in the middle, Curris up top. I'm just wondering how Jordan Sumner got collected in this one. Oh, Blaze and Barretto, they got together and then come up in front of Sarah Taylor and Haley Curris, who was also involved.
11
Look
got airborne.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
look at Barretto just getting
Wow.
upside down on top of the 8 of Blaze. And then he also, that's how Sumner got collected. Unfortunately, got basically magnetized but to the 24. So all 4.
That's 2 cars we've seen airborne.
That is the second one. So kind of reminiscent to the days.
And they were both yellow.
And that was indeed Roberto Crown Jr. just barely grazed the rear end. Both cars of Crown and Hamill just grazed the rear end of Jordan Sumner's car. Sarah Taylor was able to drive away.
And they're both out.
Man,
Well, Roberto looks like he got more of the damage than the 19, but actually looking back, yeah, a little bit of the same, but man.
but man, just look at this. So much can happen within a short period of time.
I think a tire started going low on the 8 car. That's why it went up.
My goodness. Man, that's just absolutely insane. And then up here, I'm actually wondering where the stack up really happened between the 88 and the 2, because that's how I'm just curious as to what happened here. So let's see exactly. Let's follow along here with Fitzgerald. So this is on the cooldown. Everybody's just trying to get themselves situated. Somebody must have jammed on the brakes pretty hard. Yeah, Curris, and then right there.
There it is.
Fitzgerald forgot to push the brake button pedal.
Looks like it kind of stacked up with, it looks like a Tekin, and I think it's Curtis, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yeah, Haley Curris in the 44.
Yeah. They
Remember-
slowed up and then. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Remember, she was involved in that scuffle that happened the lap prior to this, but doesn't look like a lot of damage to Curtis's car, so she'll probably be able to continue. Probably. I mean, I don't even know, but we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we did see Crown and Hamill pulled to the garage area, teleport to the garage area because they grazed Jordan Sumner's car. I'm actually curious if Curris did go behind the wall too. I wasn't paying close enough attention to notice, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens when it comes to that and who the retirees are going to be by the time that we're getting ready to go back under green. But such a scary thing to see here for all these other cars that were involved, or at least the 4 that were involved. Barretto, who was upside down, Eric Blaze, unfortunately an innocent bystander, along with Sarah Taylor and Jordan Sumner. And more retirees, folks. We got more retirees in this one. Sarah Taylor is done, along with Roberto Crown Jr. He had an overheating issue.
Oof.
Derek Hamill is out, and they join all the other cars from Cars down to Quentin Moore in the garage area. Eric Blaze, Igor
only a lap
Barretto,
down
and Jordan
right
Sumner. They're all sitting on, they're all sitting in the pits right now, 1 lap down. So it'll only be we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, at least later on, if they're gonna be able to get back out. But in the meantime, they're sitting in the pits. And probably going to go multiple laps down.
So this ain't a good any good weekend for our team so far. Half of both of our cars are already like out or been involved. Like actually, all of our cars have been involved in some way, shape, or form in an accident. These last two wrecks.
I do want to point one thing out. When I created Death Rider Racing, this is not what I had in mind. Okay.
Well,
So
Well, Igor Barretto definitely found himself going on a little death ride, if you will, and unfortunately Eric Blaze was in the middle of that one.
oh well, I kind of taught him a thing or two. Oops. We know what the saying goes, like father, like son.
Well, though, I mean, talking about it, I would have to say the only other driver, the 2 other cars, though, that are actually still in this thing when it comes to your team, Russell, so far, you got Steve Morgan and also Joshua Neely. They're still in this thing. Very minimal, I'd say very, very, very minimal damage to the 1 and the 7. And as for you, Wyatt, right now you got Ray Atikian riding in the 15th position, and then all the way back here in 19th, you got Campbell Marsh, neither of which have really a lot of damage. I mean, Atikian was involved in that lap 3 incident that also saw Neely do a 360 going into turn 3, but nonetheless, all 3 cars, all 4 cars are actually still going.
Here's my thing.
I think the 18 barely got involved. Sorry to cut you off, Russell.
Oh, you good?
But I think the 18 barely got involved, if not barely like missed it. So that's probably my cleanest car currently on the track. And what were you about to say before I accidentally cut you off?
So the last time that I was in the booth, if we recall, was in Minnesota. And who won Minnesota? Neely. What are the odds that Neely can do it again?
No, but I know that 20 of Atikian was involved in that scuffle in that last spot for that win too. So we may get another crazy finish like we did in Minnesota.
And,
Both of our cars.
I don't know about you, Elijah, but I've had thoughts of, obviously in the IRL NASCAR world for the truck series, colleague racing is different drivers. I believe in was it the 25 or the 10 truck?
It was indeed the 25.
If Neely keeps showing, improvements like Minnesota and stuff like that, I might have to try him out in the 26 in the cup side.
Well, it would definitely be very interesting to see Joshua Neely in a cup car at some point in the near future, whether it be full-time or otherwise. We are getting ready to go back under the green flag. They just got one to go. We'll be ready to go back under the green flag. And bad news if you are an Eric Blaze fan or an Igor Barreto fan or even a Jordan Sumner fan. Unfortunately, those 3 cars have decided to call it quits. Sarah Taylor is amongst them. So we have 27 cars. Yes, count that. 27 cars left on the racetrack. All of them are on the lead lap. So this is going to be kind of an interesting race from here on out. I don't even know what this is going to look like. I don't even know if we're going to wound up with at least 3 cars kind of like pulling off what Chick Hicks, the King, and Lightning McQueen did in Cars 1 with only 3 cars left running on the track. But we're about to find out how the rest of this race is going to unfold. Coming around to complete 19 laps when we restart. Sam Robinson is your current race leader. Then Celeste Lace is running in the 2nd position. Carter Belair in 3rd. Then Josiah Munsell in 4th. That's our 2020 Daytona 500 champion, might I add. Bryce Egan completes your top 5. And then it's Dana Mon running in 6th. Will Parrish in 7th. Sebastian Kukulon in 8th. Then in 9th is Kenny Stremme. And Thomas Jericho rounds out your top 10. Pace car pulling on off into the pits. And Robinson getting ready to bring him back to the restart on lap number 20 when we cross the line this time by.
Do we think we might get a green flag stop, y'all?
I don't know. I may have to go check on Eric. Make sure that he's doing all right.
Oh, look at the 51 of Carter Belair wasting no time. He gets to the inside of Lace heading into turn number 1. Several cars being shuffled up to the 2nd groove, or the 2nd line, if you will. Dana Mon amongst them. And we're already 3 wide coming off of turn number 2. That was Ryan Kendall in the 00 who just fell way back. Kendall wound up restarting 11th, and now he's going to fall just outside of the top 15 by the time that this lap is done. 3 wide for 2nd as Bryce Egan gets to the inside with a little bit of help from Parrish, and then Dana Mon as they head through turns 3 and 4. Little bit more 3 wide towards the middle there. That's the 5th, the 16 of Kenny Stremme. Stremme's another driver that would be in dire need of some good points. Right now, he comes into this season, or at least this race, very, very low in the standings. I can tell you that much. But right now, running inside of the top 10, well, at least being scored there. But now we're starting to see these drivers bunch up a little bit more. Double file.
So I just got word that that he does in fact need me down there. So I'm gonna have to go walk my way out of the booth and go check on him, make sure everything's okay.
Go for it.
Hopefully.
Keeping our fingers crossed here. 3 wide for 2nd. As Haroon Khan Koiloglu in the 42 has entered the chat right now, running in the 2nd position. You got Reagan DeFay on. How about this? Why you got Ray Atikian in the 20? Right up here in this 4th position. Ryan Kendall fighting his way back into the top 5 behind the 20. Koiloglu trying to get to the inside of the 27 of Dana Mon, but Atikian will follow in the 20 machine as they head back into turn number 3. Kendall now being hung out to dry on the 2nd line.
Yeah, this is a good little battle. It's a good little group of cars to be in the front. I don't know how many, maybe like 15 or so. You can probably do the math, do something, but this is a good group. As long as they keep like at least 3 wide, turn out to go 4 wide, this would be a good battle. The 20 to the lead. That's good to see after he was involved in the first crash. But yeah, still got a couple of other cars hanging in there. Having a quiet day so far. You got the 53, the 21. I do apologize. I don't know all the names on the top of my head. So bear with me. Same thing, Minnesota. As we got 3 wide for We got 3 wide
Oh,
for the lead
boy.
on turn 3 with the 21 on the bottom, almost clearing the 53 at the moment.
And we almost just saw 4 wide going through turn number 3 because there was one car that was almost up against the wall. Now, the benefit of going a bit easier to get out of that situation because of just of how small this group is. And I did count it, by the way, at least 16 cars that are amongst this lead group fighting it out for the lead and what could potentially be the win if this race goes green the rest of the way. Munsell leading the charge down the back straightaway. Will Parrish now taking it downstairs, bringing Bryce Egan with him. A couple of Fords up there now starting to challenge on that inside line.
I was pretty close. I'm proud of myself that I got at least close. Yeah, it's kind of. Hopefully, it's a bit more calmer now. We don't have a lot more cars, but we said that before, and it's still got crazy as they go wide on the.
4 wide.
4 wide.
Kukulon and Aman in the middle.
Are we going to calm it? Looks like they actually got out of there pretty clean this time so far.
At least.
But they're still, I think, 4 wide in the back. Well, now it's back to 3 wide, so it's all good now. But that was scary for a second there.
That did look a little bit nerve-wracking there. I mean, especially in the middle of that group. What that did allow to happen, at least closer to the front, the whole front end of the group here just wound up getting a little bit more strung out. But that's not going to take too much longer. And, well, we won't have to wait much longer until they get bunched right back up again. Egan taking it downstairs on Will Parrish and Sam Robinson. So again, 4 wide. Nez this time, Kennel in the middle with Munsell. Actually, Carter Belair.
The 51 wisely backed out of that. Lost a few spots, but wisely backed out of the 4 wide. And now it's back to 3.
The good news is, though, Carter Belair was by himself in that 4th line, so he was able to fade his way to the back end of the field, and now he's going to be able to try it again here, going through turns 3 and 4. How about Joshua Neely just barely hanging on to whatever draft he can off of Kukulon, and now he's going to be able to do this with Carter Belair as he drops down behind the 25. But up front, Reagan DeFeo going to the point. And now you got Kenny Stremme right down there on the inside, 3 wide, heading through the tri-oval. As Stremme goes to the point, they're going 4 wide again. Stremme's teammate Sam Robinson now in the middle.
They're just testing the waters. They actually made it to the first lap. But I think someone backed out, which was smart. They're trying to test it and see if they can try to go 4 wide at least on the stripe. But I still think it's pretty risky even with that.
I mean, we're almost to the halfway mark here. After this time around, we'll be 6 laps away from the halfway point of the Aaron's 312 here at Talladega. For those that are just now tuning in, so far we've only had at least 2 cautions that has wiped out several cars, and now we're down to 27 that are still running on the racetrack. 28th on down as all retired from the race. Everybody's still in the lead lap at this current moment. And it is Kenny Stremme who leads the way with Dana Mon in 2nd, Ray Atikian in 3rd, Munsell 4th, and Celeste Lace currently being scored 5th. But that 5th spot may go to the 00 of Ryan Kendall, who is quite literally the 5th car on the inside line. Amon now going to the inside, bringing Josiah Munsell with him. And they're going to hang Stremme and Atikian out to dry in that 2nd groove. They are a little bit more strung out again, but don't be too shocked if they wound up getting bunched back up a little in maybe a couple laps time. But things are definitely starting to get a little bit heated up as we are closing in on the halfway mark, 5 laps away from the halfway point here in Talladega.
And before, I was already giving credit to the 27, like he barely able to snip the draft of the 41 to get him into this lead pack, which that caution helped him out. And now look at him, he's leading the field, coming to halfway here in a few laps. So that's great termination from the 27.
It's almost like that Nick A30 attitude, never back down, never give up. I know that's a very, very corny line, but it does hold true to whatever you do. And here they come on Fitzgerald.
Oh, this will be interesting.
172 versus 194. They come up on the 88 pretty quickly, and here we go. They're stacking them up. The inside line's going to be able to get by perfectly fine, but the middle and top, they're going to have a little bit of a fun time just trying to get by Fitzgerald. This whole middle lane is actually getting held up. Now the top, oh, I thought the top was going to get held up.
And the top is going to get held up. Fitzgerald moved to the top.
Oh, man, Atikian now getting held up along with Celesta Lace and Robinson. Oh, man, that's got to be frustrating here if you're Ray Atikian or Celesta Lace. Possibly almost it. That almost became Sam Robinson as Fitzgerald was just trying to do everything he could to get out of the way. And Atikian almost had enough of Fitzgerald there.
That was the same way up here in the booth, but thankfully they're not that far spread out to where like they could still catch the draft. So it looks like everyone's all spread out now, but that will shortly close up in like probably a little bit after halfway.
That's definitely going to be the case for sure. Everybody that is a little bit further back in this group, they're all single filed out. So we will definitely see these drivers get back to double file racing once they close back up onto one another. But in the meantime, Kenny Stremme just got past the 27 of Dana Mon, who's now shuffled up to the second groove. And now Justin Ingleham is going to join him as here comes Munsell to the inside of the 53.
I wonder how the second pack is handled with the Fitzgerald being in there.
Let's go back and actually take a look at it here, and oh boy. Steve Morgan, Ryan Davis both having a fun time behind Ajax Fitzgerald, and Austin Kane, Campbell Marsh. They're saying, see you later. Don't want anything to do with that 88, who's literally does not have a hood on that car. But Steve Morgan,
up his teammate of the 7.
You know, Steve Morgan definitely has to be given that one finger salute, if you will, to his own teammate, saying, hey, great job. Thank you for being a great teammate. But Morgan goes right on by Fitzgerald regardless, and he will definitely just stay close to the 70 of Ryan Davis. But third pack over here, you got our points leader of John Boyd. There is a 15, I believe a 17-point difference between the 41 and the 11. And leaving here tonight, after Talladega, I'd have to say that gap is probably going to be a little bit shorter between the two of them. But then again, anything could change here at Talladega. But up front, Lee Packus catching up to Kasumi Takashi and Erica Douglas. Let's see how they do with these guys. Oh, no! Parrish and Douglas get together and right back into the field. How in the world? Parrish!
Wait, hold on. It ain't over yet. How's it going to get back on track to?
Oh, my God.
That was an amazing save.
What? How in the world did both Douglas and Parrish hang on to those cars? They were practically wrecked at that point.
That was amazing driving by both those drivers. That's a tough break for the 2018, like up in the front. Now have to fight to get on the lead pack. But that was excellent driving. I think he's got a little bit of draft. He may be able to be up there, but yeah, he's got the draft. Yeah, he should be fine. But man, what? We came back just at the right time.
That was amazing. You know, I'm speechless by that one. I don't know about you, why, but I am speechless. I think I lost my train of thought there, but that definitely split the pack up even more. 3 cars, make that 4 if you want to count Justin Ingleham. They've all broken away from everybody else. That's Bryce Egan in the 35, the 42 of Harun Kankoiloglu, and the 16 of Kenny Stremme. They've all broken away from everybody else, all thanks to the 32 and the 39. But it won't take, again, it's like what we dealt with Fitzgerald. It won't take him too much longer before we get back to double file.
Yeah, but the question is, will they get to Fitzgerald again before they have to go double file, or will we actually have green flag pit stops beforehand too?
Oh man, you know, that could very well be the case. I'd have to say, if this race goes green for long enough, we could very well see green flag pit stops. I want to say right within 20 laps to go. I mean, that could very well be the case. Maybe 15 to go at the very latest. But regardless of that, a lot of these drivers, they've all started to bunch right back up, and there goes Ingleham to the inside of Stremme. That's for second. Robinson now getting to the inside of the 42 for fourth. Bringing the 45 of DeFeo and Josiah Munsell in the 48 with him. Ray Atikian still hanging on in this thing, and Sebastian Kukulon right now running in the 9th position, heading back down the back straightaway, coming off of 2 into the 3rd corner.
After getting held up by the 88, I know that was frustrating by the 20, but look at him now. He's back up in the lead pack. I think those 2 cars slowing everyone up helped that out. Now look, he's in the top 10. Top 10. He may have a battle for the lead here in a few laps. So great position. You never know at Talladega. This is great racing so far.
Man, I would absolutely have to agree. I mean, the opening stages of this race were chaotic to say the least, and very unfortunate that we saw almost a little over a quarter of the field get taken out in 2 big crashes. But nonetheless, we are still seeing some really good action take place with all these cars that are still pretty well bunched up. There goes Robinson to the inside. DeFeo's going to make it 3 wide and heading into turn number 3. Munsell
with help with the 48 and the 20.
Ian going with him. Dana Mon starting to join that party in the number 27. And I think Atikian might think about making a 3 wide for second. Oh, he thought about it, but didn't have the push from the 27 to get down to the inside of Munsell heading through the tri-oval. He might here heading down the back straightaway going into turn number 3. Could very well be the case. We're just going to have to watch for it.
So it looks like we lost a couple cars in the draft there. There's 2 that find themselves at the lone back. I don't know if they're close to the draft to keep up.
I believe that was Belair and Neely that have lost the draft, but there you see it. We were just talking about it a little bit ago, though, Wyatt. Munsell and Dana Mon, they jumped out of line, and they're down to the inside of DeFeo. Munsell had the advantage there for the moment, and here we go, 4 wide.
Come on now, keep it calm.
And they are going to get it settled back down. Robinson and Atikian, they were rubbing doors for a second, but Atikian jumps up to the 3rd lane to help Munsell, but there is not a lot going on up there. I think Atikian is going to have to get his way back down to the bottom, along with the 48 of Munsell. Up front, Koiloglu in the 42, taking it downstairs on Dana Mon, with Kenny Stremme in tow.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
I don't think either one of us has caught it yet, but we've already passed halfway.
We are indeed past the crossing the start-finish line, heading into turn number 1 right about now. And oh boy, what are they going to do?
Round 2, I call it.
The bottom gets held up. Look at the 27. Look at the 27 of Tatum on.
And there we go, they're splitting them all.
Oh my goodness, Koilu by the 88 of Fitzgerald, and look at Stremme and Amon go, splitting them down the middle. Oh, Stremi goes to the point. Dana Mon has got no help whatsoever on that second line. You got Ryan Kendall in the 00. He might, but he's definitely not going to have a choice at this point. DeFeo gets to the inside of the 00. But Amon, he's going to have himself a dancing partner, at least temporarily. Maybe not so much longer going into turn number 1. As I think Kendall, yep, he's going to go drop down to the inside in front of Ray Atikian as Justin Ingleham goes to the lead with 41 laps complete, 3 wide for second, halfway down the back straightaway.
I will say this, I noticed a couple of the drivers to 88 held up there at the end. This is the second time that the 88 has held up to 21. So I am pretty sure that 21 is not going to be happy with the 88 right after this race.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of drivers are going to be too happy with the 88 of Ajax Fitzgerald, who is at least multiple miles per hour slower compared to everybody else who's in the draft, at least running 195.
That Blades is not up here to put it again. He's probably on the radio right now trying to get a hold of Ajax. Like, move out of the way from the leaders.
At least try to do something here. Speaking of trying something, here comes Ryan Kendall to the inside of Reagan DeFeo, bringing Ray Atikian with him. So they're gonna get by for second and now third, maybe potentially. Atikian now gonna get a push from the 42 of Koiloglu. And to the line for the second position. That is gonna go to Atikian here in the number 20, heading back down into turn 1.
So we talked about like what was going to come first, Ajax Fitzgerald or green flag pit stops. We got that one. Are we going to see that here soon?
We might be heading into that window where we could see our first and more than likely only round of green flag pit stops very, very soon. We are coming up on the 20 laps to go window in just 2 more rotations. Ingleham still leading the charge. The 2 Beacon Academy racing cars, or at least these are the 2 Beacon Academy racing cars of Stremi and Robinson, nose to tail, working together, and they're going to get to the inside of Ingleham for the race lead. There goes Stremi to the point. Sam Robinson probably going to ditch his teammate to go 3 wide. Nah, maybe not, actually. Dana Mon actually is going to beat him to the punch, and oh boy, 4 wide, heading through turn 3.
It was smart to back out of that one, but I don't know about
there they go. Oh my God!
Another one! Oh no!
On the front straightaway. Oh, look out, guys.
Here comes more cars.
Oh, Atikian gets hit again.
No.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Double, 2 cars. I just looked at it, 2 cars flipped at that. 2 cars flipped.
2 cars.
The 45 and the 21.
Yeah, DeFeo was amongst those that wound up flipping. And oh boy, careful. Sebastian Kukulon trying to get up through the gears and almost got rear-ended by Campbell Marsh. But look at the damage to the 42 of Koiloglu, who was amongst those collected. Man, that's such a shame. He was under himself a great run here tonight. Unfortunately, inside of 20 laps to go this time around, his chances of winning this race are over.
Well, never mind about green flag pit stops now, because we just got a 3rd crash of the race. And this, I'm not going to say this is the last one, but at least we're going to at least have our last pit stop. I don't know how many cars are going to come down. I don't know how many cars are going to be out of this race after this, but this is going to be interesting going to the finish.
I would have to agree with that one. Man, that's such a shame. Reagan DeFeo on the 45. just limping her way down the back straightaway, trying to get that car back to pit road. And there is the 42 of Koiloglu. We talked about him a little bit ago. That's such a shame, though. Coming in, well, now inside 20 laps to go. We now have had our third caution of the night here at the Talladega Superspeedway. And not a lot of drivers. Unless if you had damage or not, nobody really decided to come on in and pit. So that's actually going to be pretty interesting to see how this unfolds. But Stremi leads the way. Let's go back and review what happened that caused our third yellow flag of the evening here at Talladega. And it was a massive crash coming off of turn number 4. Heading to the start-finish line to try to come take 20 to go. That's Reagan DeFeo on the bottom. Alais Munsell in the middle. Koiloglu up top. Rayatikian up there on that 4th line trying to help the 42. But look at this. Alais comes down and gets into the 45. And that sends them up into Munsell. And look at that.
That impact. It looked like Ray barely got out of it on the first half, but then looks like the 42 got to the wall and it just came up and then they went. It don't look like he got a little bit of damage right there, but that's a tough break for like a lot of like the 20. See the 25, the 00 got a piece.
Actually, Kendall barely got by that one. Actually, so he is still able to drive away. But yeah, as far as Rayatikian, he did get clipped in the right rear by Koiloglu, and then he gets hit in the left rear. Oh my God, by Koiloglu. Holy. Unfortunately, I mean, not too much of Koiloglu's fault there because he can't really see anything, especially with the hood as crunched up as it is. That definitely has to be impeding his vision when it comes to just trying to navigate his way around. But just gonna take a look at this again.
That is 4 cars that has flipped this race.
And 2 in this caution. That is just absolutely unbelievable of what we're witnessing in the closing stages of the Aaron's 312 here at Talladega. Man, Sam Robinson, if he was just a little bit further back, he would have been involved in this one. He would have been clipped. But
Ford just barely getting by that whole deal. Like he was on the bottom lane the whole time, and he barely got involved. Like he avoided everything.
Oh, Kendall did get a little bit of damage there. Just got into Kukulon.
Tough breaks for some of the drivers that were running up there. Like you mentioned the 45, the 21. I was just mentioning like the frustrations with the 88, being so slow, getting him involved. Just a bunch of drivers having great nights, had an opportunity to win, then just mayhem.
Absolute
Thankfully, no
calamity.
one in the second pack looks like got involved.
Yeah, absolute calamity here in the closing stages of the Aaron's 312. But just look at this. Man. And again, as you mentioned, it was great heads-up driving by Thomas Jericho to get by that whole mess. Ryan Kendall did get a little bit of damage, but he's still able to continue. But at least from that camera angle that we just witnessed the crash from, not a lot that these drivers can really see because of all that smoke that's impeding their vision. And man, I don't know what else to say, but that's just a tough break for a lot of these drivers.
At least 4 or 5 retirees after this.
At least, maybe more, but that's a tough break for a lot of these drivers that had an opportunity to win this race here tonight. Unfortunately, that number is going to go down drastically. DeFeo has made it back to pit road, and she's going to take that car straight to the garage area. Oh, well, how about it, Wyatt? Inside of 20 laps to go, and the plot to this race has just thickened by, well, a lot.
Now we know that at least if they all pit, we ain't going to worry about a pit stop for the rest of the race. But the question is now, I'd say if we get green and they keep it calm, lap traffic is going to be the biggest issue, especially if the 88 is still on track.
I would have
And
to.
that's going to be the big factor of it. Oh, it looks like the 20 still in there. I think the 48 is out. Obviously, the 21 and the 45 are both definitely out of the race. There's the 88.
Fitzgerald's still in this one, so he'll definitely be a little bit of a hassle to get around here because, again, I mean, the ruling is inside of 10 laps to go, we will have single file green flag restarts. But, however, single file restarts, that is. However, we are not at that point, so we will still have lap cars lining up on the inside. That's actually going to be the first time that we're going to have that here in tonight's race. But, man, this is actually going to be a wild restart. Koiloglu, DeFeo, they are out of it, along with the 48 of Josiah Munsell and even the 21 of Celeste Lace. They are done for the night. So, with that said, I believe we're going to have at least 23 cars running on track with 20 of them on the lead lap. Let's see what the scoring is going to say here.
That's what I'm looking at here.
Man, this is absolutely just chaotic.
Yeah, it looks like we're about. Yeah, I think you're right. We're going to have 23 cars. After the next lap, the 88's going to get shown to be 23rd, and then that's all the cars currently running. So, again, tough break for the 42, 45, 48, and 21. Crazy crashes all around with a bunch of names and drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. This race has definitely taken a huge turn, and just definitely a lot of calamity. Of course, we saw a lot of calamity at the beginning of the race, and then it calmed down quite a bit. It saw some really great and intense action. Got a good green flag run in the process, but unfortunately, coming to 20 to go, 2 cars wound up flipping at the same time with Alace and DeFeo coming off of turn number 4. And again, it's that product of 4-wide racing. I mean, we can do it here at Talladega. However, the 2 cars that are in the middle kind of have a knack to be a magnet to anybody to their inside or outside, and we've seen it several times here tonight. 4 wide can work, but often just ends very badly. This is the field,
and that brought up a couple cars up here too. It looks like the 1 and the 18's now in front of the pack, so this will be interesting to see if they will be part of the equation.
and look a little bit further back. You got Ryan Davis in the mix in the number 70. Remember, he won the season opener at Daytona in very I wouldn't say dominating fashion, but in dramatic fashion, coming to the white flag in that race, and right now currently sitting in the 12th position. One of your cars, Campbell Marsh, still has a chance to win this thing, right now running in the 10th position. Things are going to get pretty interesting.
Yeah. I don't know how much these paths going to go, especially now that the inside lane is going to get jumbled up. If I was these cars on top row, I'd stay on the top single file, let these 3 kind of start fading back, especially the 88. That once we hit that green flag, that 88 is going to start dropping.
And another thing to add on top of
This will
that,
be interesting.
Another thing to add on top of that is that a lot of when you have at least the slightest amount of damage, it affects your aerodynamics dramatically. We've seen it so many times at places like Daytona and Talladega. It's just a common theme for drivers, especially with like Eric Douglas, for instance, in the 32. A slight buckle on the hood, it just affects the aerodynamics in such a huge way. So we're just going to have to watch and see how this restart unfolds. This is the first time that we're going to have lap cars lining up on the inside line. Your top 10 is going to look like this as they get ready to come back to green with 17 to go. I am doing the math correctly. 17 laps to go on lap 50. It is Kenny Stremme the leader, Ingleham second, Danamon third, Robinson fourth. Thomas Jericho completes the top 5. And then it's Bryce Egan in 6th, Carter Belair 7th, Joshua Neely 8th, Ryan Kendall 9th, Campbell Marsh completing your top 10. We're probably not done with cautions, but let's see how this restart goes. Kenny Stremme brings him to green with now 17 laps to go. Some drivers are already electing to go to the bottom, but I don't really think that's the best decision here if you're Bryce Egan or several other cars that are going to be down there on the inside line, because look at the result.
I don't know how wise. Yeah. Unless the 88 just starts staying in the middle. I don't know how wise it is to just go to the bottom.
Oh, man. If you're up on the top, this has got to be absolutely glorious for you, because everybody on that top side, they're starting to drive right on by Fitzgerald and Douglas and Takashi. Ryan Kendall, Will Parrish, they're looking to join that group, but look at this. Almost 3 wide, 2 rows deep, with everybody else that is being held up by the slower traffic. While up front, Ingleham, Amon, Stremme, Robinson, Thomas Jericho, and Carter Belair are now all in the mix in this lead pack. Ryan Kendall has broken free from the clutches of the slower cars, along with Will Parrish, Joshua Neely, and everybody else now on the inside line. They're finally starting to get by the slower cars of Fitzgerald, Douglas, and Takashi.
One good thing about the big pack finally getting through, as we see Ray Teagan there. One good thing about this big pack breaking away, now things will work together, and that's a small pack up front. We only have 17 to go, so they will definitely catch them, get close to the end. But how long will it take for them to catch is the question.
Time is indeed running out. 15 laps of racing to go from here at Talladega. So far, it is 6 cars that are in this lead group so far. So these drivers, at least in this second pack, they're going to have to really start banding together if they want to have a chance at winning this thing. How about this, by the way? John Boyd in the 41. Remember, he's the points leader. Still has yet to score a win this year, but he finds a way. I don't know how, but he manages to find a way to be up inside of the top 10 by the time the race is nearing its conclusion, or at least close to the top 10. But here he is, getting to the inside of his teammate Ryan Kendall. This would be for 7th, but what a drive by John Boyd to stay up front, at least within the front, or at least within the top 10, and still be able to hold on to the points lead. Great job by this 41 team.
Great to hear about the 41. Definitely a good way to end up finish your race. If you don't win this race, it's good to keep that points lead going into it. And looks like he may keep it.
And remember, next week, ladies and gentlemen, after this race for the Xfinity Series, we'll be going to the Iowa Speedway on the 15th of May. And here's an interesting thing that we're going to be seeing next week. The drivers, the Xfinity drivers for next week's race at Iowa, they're going to be going the same distance that the Cup Series ran last year. The Cup race is going to be a lot longer, because I feel like the Cup race last year, if it was longer, we would have seen a lot more action than what we did last year. So we're fixing that for this year, and the Xfinity Series will take last year's Cup distance for Iowa. So definitely going to be a lot of fun.
Cannot wait to watch that and hope we already had a Walker family driver win in the Cup Series last year when we went to Iowa. I will be happy to see one in the Xfinity Series win next year too. I have that much confidence. Hopefully.
Leading the charge, the gap between 6th and 7th is now a 3.6 second difference. As the front group is all, for the most part, they have been single file, but they're also racing at the same time. Look at this pack over here. Kind of similar, but a little bit more organized at the same time. Unless if you're Joshua Neely and Ryan Davis. Now, Ryan Kendall adding his name to the list here as he goes to the inside of Campbell Marsh. But regardless of that, this second group, in some way or fashion, is a little bit more organized than the lead pack that's all just racing for this top position, closing in on 10 laps to go.
But I'll see how this lap goes, but it looked like the first group is actually quicker than the second group, even despite having more cars in that second group. So this may be the pack. This may be the winning pack.
4.2 seconds is the difference between four. Stremme now moved up to the third line. Won't take him much longer to get back in contention of this thing. Almost 4 wide there for third, but here we go. 10 fingers in the air, 10 laps to go from here at Talladega. Danemon leads the way with Sam Robinson on the outside. Belair and Thomas Jericho down on the inside, and Stremme's going to join him down there on the bottom.
My question, where is that 88? And will he play a factor in this?
Crossing the start-finish line this time by, but a good half a racetrack ahead of these leaders. Still double file amongst these 6 cars. And the gap between 6th and 7th is 3.6 seconds. So a little bit of progress made. 6/10 have been picked up, but I think unless if a miracle happens, unless if these drivers catch up to the slower traffic, that second group is practically out of time.
Yeah, agreed. Or unless like that second group gets more cars and start whittling that number down. But like I said, I think this is going to be a race with these front 6.
2.7 seconds now.
Yeah.
Or at least no, 4.7.
Yeah. And if I had to take a pick on who I'm looking at that 27. This whole race I'll be giving a praise since he got in that draft. Barely got that draft to get in that lead pack. Avoided all the wrecks, and now look at him. He's in the top 6. He's currently on the high lane right now, but he may be out of this group. I might be picking him. He may get that win.
Slices down to the bottom. Danemon now up to third and does have himself a really good chance of possibly winning this race, but he's got to knock off the Beacon Academy Racing cars that are running 1-2 right now with 8 laps to go. 7.5 this time.
When it comes to plate racing and that team, how am I not surprised that they are leading this pack right now?
It's actually the irony, if you will, right now. I mean, obviously, in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series in real life back in the day, of course, Colic Racing was the team to beat when they had the right driver lineup. And now this year for Beacon Academy Racing on the WRLA side, history, I guess, is coincidentally repeating itself. 7 to go. Robinson leads from the outside line. But now he's got Kenny Stremme right on the inside. Jericho, Belair, and Ingleham now down on the bottom. And look at Belair, going to make it 3 wide. 3 abreast potentially. Doesn't have a run. So he's going to start fading back a little bit. Now back behind the 4 of Jericho. Coming around this time to 6 laps of racing to go from here at Talladega.
This is going to be good. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of these 6 cars. They got the speed. He's going to be the one that did it at the end.
Absolutely. They've got the speed and they've got the distance, but heading through turns 3 and heading through turn 4 now, this time by. The 3 slower cars are making their way on the front straightaway. Our race leaders are now getting ready to start down turn number 3. With Sam Robinson still out front. I have a feeling, though, Wyatt, that we might not be done with that slower traffic.
I agree, but it's going to be slim. It's going to be really close. I'm thinking and predicting it may come between either the penultimate lap or the last lap. We may see that traffic come out.
5 fingers in the air. 5 laps of racing to go. Robinson still leading the charge. Stremme on the inside, Amon on the outside, with a little bit of help from Justin Ingleham. Jericho and Belair kind of starting to fade back a little bit, but now here comes Amon to the inside. But he has no help whatsoever. Now he's going to have it with Jericho and Belair just sniffing the draft off of the 27. And Amon's going to get a draft off of Sam Robinson as they come off of turn number 4. And now, if this lead group does also catch up to the slower pack before 2 laps to go or coming to the white flag, does that potentially give the second group a chance to pull right up with this lead pack and have a chance to win this thing? I'd say that chance is very, very slim.
I don't think so, because they're currently over. They're currently almost 5 seconds back from that pack. I would be surprised if they slow them up that much to where the second group catches all of them. I do not see, unless they block all 3 lanes and they slow up them really quick, I do not see that second pack catching them.
We're going to snooze the ads on Twitch here so that way you do not miss the finish of this one. 3 laps of racing to go from here at Talladega. Oh boy. They're on the back straightaway as they work their way halfway down. They're almost there. They're almost to them. Ingleham drops down low. It's going to be very, very close. Dana Mon right there in the toe of the 53. Jericho, Stremme, Belair all on the inside, leaving the 10 hung out to dry momentarily.
They broke up to 10 to 16. That's the move, and there it is.
Oh,
there they
boy.
are.
You just saw him at the top of your screen heading through the tri-oval just a little bit ago. But now they're making their way into turn 1. We're probably going to catch them on the back straightaway on the path to the white flag. 2 laps of racing to go. Ingleham led that last lap.
Turn 3.
More than likely, these drivers are going to catch that slower pack heading into turn number 3. Maybe on the exit of turn number 4. Or maybe midway through the turns.
This is going to be the deal. Who is going to get past those cars, and how is this race going to be won?
Oh boy, here we go. They're double file up there as they come through the tri-oval. White flag is waving. Dana Mon leads it. Will he be leading coming back to the checkered flag? They catch the slower cars with 1 to go. Kenny Stremme jumps up to the outside. Look at the 4 of Thomas Jericho. rocketing around the
That was the smartest move
outside.
by the 4.
Oh boy.
And the 27
Dana Mon down to the inside.
Oh, 4-1.
Amon goes to the middle. Jericho is
four.
gone. Jericho is out of here as they head through turns 3 and 4. He's all by himself. That may not be good because Dana Mon has broken free from all the traffic as they come through turn number 4. I think the deal is sealed here. The deal is sealed. And it's Thomas Jericho going to victory lane here at Talladega. Oh my goodness.
What a finish.
That was some finish. I was almost on the same page as you, Wyatt. I genuinely thought Dana Mon was going to have a run coming to the checkered flag. He practically did get up to the back bumper of Thomas Jericho, and I thought he was going to make a move to the high side. But Thomas Jericho holds on and manages to grab the race win here at Talladega. Oh my goodness gracious. What a race.
That was a smart move by the 4.
Oh my goodness. Indeed, it was a smart move by Jericho. I questioned it a little bit in my head at first because I didn't see the vision. I'll be honest. I did not quite see the vision. I did not quite pick up what Thomas Jericho was putting down. But by God, it worked out in his favor. And Thomas Jericho is a WRLA Xfinity Series winner. Dana Mon, so close. He'll have to finish in that second position. Sam Robinson coming home in third. Carter Belair fourth. Kenny Stremme completing your top 5. Then it's Justin Ingleham finishing in 6th. Bryce Egan in 7th. Will Parrish in 8th. John Boyd in 9th. And rounding out your top 10, that is Campbell Marsh. 11th on down to 20th. They all finished on the lead lap. 21st to 23rd finished 2 laps down or more. And then look at this, Wyatt. All the retirees from Harun Khan Koiloglu in 24th to Quentin Moore in the 40th position. Man.
16 am I looking at that? No. 17? Is that 17 cars? Yeah, 17 cars out of that race. Yvonne Lozrick.
Absolutely unbelievable.
And only 20 cars finished on the lead lap. Funny enough, 20th is my driver in the 20. But that was a great finish. I'd say one of the best finishes so far.
I honestly couldn't agree more.
In the Xfinity Series.
I couldn't agree more. That finish though with Joshua Neely at Minnesota, I think that still lives pretty rent free in my head. I gotta be honest there. But Thomas Jericho making that bonsai 3 wide move to get by the slower traffic while everybody else is getting held up. I think that might have been that was definitely the winning move right there. It didn't look like it at first, but once Jericho got free and started pulling away, I thought that was all she wrote, and it pretty much turned out to be exactly the case. But ladies and gentlemen, what great action we saw from here at the Talladega Super Speedway. And before we close off our broadcast from here at Talladega, Wyatt, you got any final thoughts here? And what are some things that you saw here in this race that you're going to apply here for tomorrow when we go cup racing here at Talladega?
Not go 4 wide. That is the main thing. Like, you can try to go 4 wide, but it's like if you're on the very top, I suggest you back off. Because or something like that's going to happen. We're going to have two more than these cars in here. We want to at least have majority of these cars still in here. But nonetheless, I'm just happy to see everyone's okay. I heard back, I believe everyone is okay that was involved. All 4 cars that flipped should be, I think I heard that they're doing all right. And we'll see them next week
Also,
at Iowa.
Also, we're getting word that Eric Blaze, who is also involved in that caution on lap number 11, is alert and doing okay, according to Russell Blaze himself. Just confirmed that to us in the booth. He just poked his head in here and said, hey, Eric's doing all right. So definitely gonna have to do a little bit more debriefing before we get ready to go cup racing from here at the Talladega Super Speedway. But before that, we're going to be going qualifying from here at Talladega. That's going to start at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to set the starting lineup for tomorrow night's race. And the green flag will be waving at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our eighth race of the season for the WRLA NOS Energy Cup Series. If you like this race and watching this on the WRLA YouTube channel, if you like what you saw, be sure to hit that follow button, be sure to hit the like button, and be sure to consider subscribing in order to keep up with some fine WRLA content that will be produced all throughout the 2026 season. And also, if you're in the Discord, be sure to keep an eye on the Discord so that way you can see your points by the time they get released. One more time, congratulations to Thomas Jericho on nabbing the win from here at the Talladega Super Speedway. And on behalf of Russell Blaze and Wyatt Walker, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out, and we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow for WRLA NOS Energy Cup Series action from here at Talladega.